As the owner of a law firm, your goal this year should be to double your profit. That's right, 100% growth in your profit. And you're going to be able to do that by using one simple strategy. When I was in the law firm in Phoenix and I grew it from $0 to $3.5 million in just a couple of years, the owner of that firm got to take a month-long vacation for the first time in his career. We were profitable. How did we do that? We paid attention to one fact. Let's break it down. The first thing that we did was we increased prices. It's that simple. Yeah, as a law firm owner, you're likely not charging enough. I know that you're likely not because I talk to 150 of you every single month. I've worked with over 1,000 of owners of law firms just like you, and I've helped them to accomplish this goal of increasing your fees. I understand this is a controversial topic because you believe you're already charging as much as you possibly can, or that there's some third party like the judge or the trustee that is going to determine whether or not you can charge the fee that you should charge. Maybe you think if you charge too much, your clients aren't going to retain your firm. The truth is, you can build a law firm that determines who the most expensive provider is in your town and charge more than them. Back in 1995, I owned funeral homes for just under 10 years. The first thing I did when I bought my first funeral home was I went out and I price shopped every single one of my competitors. And most people would think that I would check the prices out and then I would charge less because I wanted to beat them on price. But I didn't. I found out what their price was and then I charged 10% more. Why? Because at a very early age, I had figured out in order to give the proper level of service to the families that I was serving, I needed to have enough labor to make things look good. I needed capital to invest in equipment and upkeep of the funeral home. In order to do that, I needed to make sure that I charged the right figure. So I used basic arithmetic to reverse engineer the fact that what the person who owned the firm before me was charging wasn't enough. So all I had to do was raise fees, and then I was able to create more margin, which allowed me to serve clients better. That's the secret. Hey, look, if you're stuck trying to figure out how to raise your prices and you want some advice as to how you could do it, we're happy to look under the hood of your firm and show you exactly how you can do it step by step. Just go visit thelawfirmsecret.com and schedule 10 minutes with us, and we'll start the conversation. When I started teaching this to lawyers 15 years ago, Rick West was one of the first attorneys I told this to. He told me, Rich, there's no way I can charge more than I'm charging. All of my competitors are charging about this average, and I'm right where they are charging. I knew he was losing money on every case. He wondered how I could accomplish this goal. So I shared with him the story of what I did in Phoenix when I built the law firm there, was averaging about $1,500 a case. I knew, because I had worked with law firms long enough, what it cost us to put a case out the door. It was right around $1,100, which means if I charged $1,000 a case like my competitor, I was losing $1,000 every time we sold a case. So I needed to reverse engineer this based on what percentage of the revenue I was going to collect, the sales that I made, what percentage I was actually going to collect, and what I wanted my margin to be. Once I was able to do that, I was able to see that I couldn't charge $1,000. I had to actually charge $2,300. Most people told me I was out of my mind, but we actually closed 72% of our deals at the highest price. Why is that? Well, it's all about the processes and systems you use to market, generate leads, and convert those leads into sales. And so once you have a confidence in your lead generation and lead conversion machines, you can safely start to charge the rate that you're supposed to charge. So let's break this in two primary categories. Contingency-based fees are not in this conversation unless you're a discount provider. But for this argument, we're talking about two fundamental types of fees. Flat fees or hourly. What I need to teach you is the rules of fives and zeros. When we cross over a 5, we can raise the price up until we stop short of the next 0. If we cross over 0, we can raise prices until we fall short of the next 5. What does that mean? If I charge $1,500, I've crossed over the 5. Under the 5 would be like $1,400, $1,300, $1,200. My next stop is short of the 0. So $2,000 would be my next 0, which means I can charge right up to $1,995. And I won't notice one single difference in conversion. Now, if you're a hourly firm and you're charging $350, the rule is the same. You could raise prices to $395 an hour and you could have zero difference in conversion. If you charge $2,500 for a retainer, you can charge $2,995. Just raise your prices using the fives and the zero rule. You're going to likely see a 5 to possibly 15% increase in pricing. So let's say that you're generating $100,000 a month in gross sales. And a true fact is that most law firms are keeping less than 10%. That means on this $100,000 firm, this law firm is keeping $10,000 a month. Now, if we increase our prices using zeros and fives, it should yield us a 10% increase in gross sale value. When you increase the gross sale value by raising your price, you do nothing to increase overall expenses, which means that money flows to the bottom line. When I increase my fees by 10%, I increase them to $110,000 a month, which means because my costs stayed the same, I now have $20,000 a month in net income. The difference between this and this is 100%. The path to growing your profit by 100% is raising that top side number of what you charge, which will have a massive difference in your bottom line profitability. Most law firms don't keep what they should be keeping to the bottom line. Law firms should be keeping 25 to 35% total owner's benefit to the bottom line. We have law firms that keep 50, 60, even 70%. This allows them to serve their clients at the highest level, attract talent that they can afford to pay at the highest level, and allows the owner to raise up to the level 3 CEO and the level 4 investor so they're not tied to the business, cell phone, laptop, missing vacations, weekends, and dinners because they don't have the profitability to hire a team that could run the law firm for them. If you want to grow your firm to the next level, you want to double your profit, start by increasing your fees, shop the competition, figure out what they're charging, then charge 10% more. I promise you, if you do this one thing, you're going to have your very best year ever. By the way, Rick West saw me not long ago at a convention. Rick said, "I just want to shake your hand and say thank you. It's been 10 years since the time that you and I first met. And when you told me to raise my prices, I thought you were crazy." I wanted Rick to double his prices, but Rick didn't want it. So we set a goal for Rick to increase the prices slowly. By the 6 months in, Rick had raised his prices by 100%, selling his services at a much higher value. Now, theoretically, Rick could have did half the business for twice the money and still did just as well for himself. But he actually did the same amount of business at double the money, which meant his profit margin went through the roof. Rick's retired today, living the life he wants because he grew his firm profitably. You can grow your firm profitably too. Let's start by raising our prices. Hey, look, if you're stuck trying to figure out how to raise your prices and you want some advice as to how you could do it, we're happy to look under the hood of your firm and show you exactly how you can do it step by step. Just go visit thelawfirmsecret.com and schedule 10 minutes with us and we'll start the conversation.